If you could pick between $100,000 tomorrow or $1 million in 10 years, what would you pick and why? I would take the money tomorrow. I'm 62 and lots of people I knew who are my age have died recently. I would put it if in the event of my death my children got the money. As someone who is depressed, I would take the million in 10 years. That would be such a motivator, but really, it would just make it much easier to not fret the small shit. I'll take $1 mill in 10 years. That will cover my retirement so I can spend a bit more of my income now to live and enjoy those far-off holidays rather than wait. Yup. Knowing I no longer have to save for retirement means it's party time, baby. Wait, you think 1M covers retirement? Might if you already have a home that's paid off. You guys are buying homes? You guys are retiring? You would make about $40,000 per year in interest. That's livable with low expenses. In today's world, $40,000 is livable. It may not be in 10 years. You may not be able to retire, but you'll at least be able to live a bit more comfortably. The interest annually compounds. 1 meter is promised in 10 but retire in 30 to 40 years. That 1 meter could easily be 5 meters in that time. Investing that 5 meters for a 6 to 7%, you can live off that and create generational wealth. $1 million in 10 years. Even assuming you could get 10% compounded annually, the $100,000 would be worth just $259,000 in 10 years. What I came here to say, no matter how entrepreneurial you are, there is a huge difference between 100K and 1 meter. You would have to find an investment opportunity that consistently produces %25 a year for a decade to reach that million. Good luck with that in this or any economy. What I'm hearing is, take the 100K today and put it all in shit coins. I know I am late, but I've liquidated everything and bought GME and I am watching the ticker. When moon. Tomorrow, brother. Monk strong together. I'm 22 right now, so knowing that when I turn 32 I'll be a millionaire would allow me to prioritize the now much more. Don't listen to that other guy. I'm 32. Take the $1 mill in 10 years. Even if you bought a house using the $100,000 at 22 like he's suggesting, you'll still be paying for it long after you could have inherited $1 mill. Then you can buy a house in cash and still have way more than the $100,000 and debt. I'll take the million in 10 years and buy half a house in Toronto. It won't be enough, LMAO. Honestly, I'm going to go the opposite of a lot of the people here. $1 million later in life would be nice, but realistically 100,000 tomorrow would help me a lot more. Either one isn't going to make me rich or guarantee me a retirement, but at least with 100,000 tomorrow I can settle all my debts, replace a bunch of things that have been broken or gotten old, and still have a comfortable savings net left over to really get me out of this slump I've been in. As much as it's nice to think I would be patient and wait for the $1 million, realistically I need the money now, not in 10 years. Especially when I look at how high a 100,000 still is and think about how much it could pretty much solve every problem in my life, which would also frankly solve most of my mental health struggles like anxiety and stress by removing most of the major factors that contribute to those. This is telling about where people are in life. And my initial reaction was take the $100,000 tomorrow. I can 86 my student loans, pay off all my debts, and even if I don't have much left over, I will at least have a clean slate. This is still my opinion. I know that $100,000 won't mature into $1 million as a lot have mentioned, but for so many, including myself, looking 10 years down the line is tough. Living every day worrying while that money sits years away. Just checking off boxes waiting for that money. It would be brutal. If you can afford to wait, take the million. But the reality is a lot of us can't wait 10 years. The 100K. Because I'm 71, yo. If the $1 million could be inherited, then $1 million. First thought. $100,000 tomorrow. But if the $1 million is guaranteed, I should be able to borrow against it and get $100,000 tomorrow anyway. The actual right answer. Great point. The 100 grand now. You never know what will be in 10 years' time. Anything can happen during that time. Rather be sure, and 100K is already life-changing for me. Who knows where the world will be 10 years from now? Who knows if I'll be alive to claim the $1 million 10 years from now? What if inflation hits at a crazy rate and $1 million in 10 years is the equivalent to $100,000 now? Financially, taking the $1 million in 10 years is a better option, but realistically I'm taking the $100,000 tomorrow. $10,000 today. $1,000 yesterday. $100 last week. $10 last month. I need about 350. I may not be alive in 10 years. Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now. $1 million in 10 years. I don't need the money. So I'll take the larger amount. A perfect summary of how the rich get richer. This is like the first concept you learn in Intro to Microeconomics. People have different utility curves. 1 million in 10 years. 100K wouldn't dramatically change my life now. But in a decade I'll be a lot closer to retirement. Could clear the remainder of the mortgage and look forward to a comfortable retirement. All I have to do is keep working as normal and I'm set for life. 100K tomorrow would be a chunk of my mortgage or money towards retirement, but some of it would be gifted and pissed away. I wouldn't see the benefit of it as much as the million. And 100K wouldn't dramatically change my life now. Must be nice to be able to say that. I'm not rich, but I have a house and a mortgage to pay off. My wife and I earn decent salaries. If I had 100K, I'd be putting it into my mortgage and pension, not gonna waste it on cars and holidays. It's not gonna change my career path or how I live in any significant way. It's fairly normal for someone who's middle class or upper middle class. I'm in this boat. 100K would change nothing for me. I'd just have a slightly bigger retirement nest egg. But I'm not wealthy. I still work for some corporate assholes and have a mortgage. No one guaranteed to live 10 years. I personally choose the 100K. You're not guaranteed to live 10 days. If you apply that logic, there's no point planning ahead for anything. People are like, I might not be alive then. But shit, you could live to be 90. Then what? People love to say life is short, but in most cases it's actually quite long. You are not going to be able to do any sound financial planning if you consistently think this way. The problem here is many people here seem to be planning everything around getting $1 million in the future, getting loans, planning retirement, etc. There are even responses with people saying they don't need any future planning anymore if they're going to a millionaire in 10 years. You should planning your finances for years down the line, but not bank everything on receiving a large sum in a decade. For many people, it's simply much better for their quality of life and mental health to resolve outstanding financial issues now, like student loans or accumulating debts. 100K now. Take care of my health bills and put a down payment on a house instead of hemorrhaging money on rent. This is similar to the Stanford marshmallow experiment. Current economic status has a big impact. https://en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/Stanford_marshmallow_experiment. And Stanford marshmallow experiment much more fun than the Stanford prison experiment. Can my so and I each answer separately? Yes, but if you don't give the same answer, you get nothing. And the prize will be a single one if you do answer the same. I live in Brazil. The living cost here is really cheap compared to the USA. With 100,000 I could have liberty enough for the next 5 years to pursue other forms of making money. The million in 10 years. There's no way I'm turning 100K into anything close to a million in that time. More likely I'd turn it into nothing. Unfortunately, it just comes down to who needs the money now, and who doesn't. As for me, I need it now. Call J.G. Wetworth, 877, cash, now. $100,000 tomorrow because I won't be alive in 10 years. 1 mil in 10 years, I'm underage and won't really need 100K for a while. $100,000 tomorrow. I could drop dead from a brain aneurysm in a week. With $100,000 tomorrow, I could pay off my debt, pay off my house, and focus on homeschooling my son who has mental health issues and learning disabilities. It would mean literal freedom to me.